jasmine rice, Thai jasmine rice. 2 cups jasmine rice. Lid for later. 2.5 cups tap water. Done. On to a medium to high heat to get a fast simmer. As this starts to warm up, you can see the clear tap water turns a bit cloudy, a bit white. That's okay, that's the starch coming out of the rice, so we're happy with that, that's good. As we wait for the fast simmer, we're just waiting for a few bubbles to rise to the surface. Not like a boil, but just a few little cheeky bubbles. So we can see quite a decent steam going on here, a few bubbles coming up, pretty high. So what we're going to do is we're going to put our lid on and we're going to turn it right down to a medium to low heat. And we're going to cook that for 12 minutes. Okay, so there's our 12 minutes up. I can't really see through the lid, but what we're looking for is all that liquid to be gone. So I'm going to take it off the heat, keep that lid on and secure, have a look to see if I can sneak a peek, and there's still some water in there. We want all of that to be absorbed into the rice. So I'm going to leave mine on for a couple more minutes. Okay, so now all my water has been absorbed by that rice. I'm going to take it off the heat, leave the lid on, turn the heat off, of course, and I'm going to let that sit there and rest for 10 minutes. Okay, so now we've let this rest for 10 minutes, or stand as it's done. We're going to remove the lid and we're going to fluff up the rice. And now you can do this with any of these things here. I've got a silicone spatula, some sort of spoon, a wooden spoon, and a wok shovel. I'm just going to use this guy, the spatula. Okay, and we're just lifting this up here and simply just sort of fluffing it up, turning it round with gentle hands, soft hands. We're not sort of getting in there and smashing it and mixing it. We're just sort of turning it over, just fluffing up the rice. Now, some methods use a fork, just a simple fork to do this. For this methodology with this jasmine rice, it's just fine to simply use a spatula and just turn him over. Get beautiful, soft, delicious rice. Nom. And one more quick tip on this rice. If you're just creating yourself and you're going to cook something that night, or if you're looking to use someone else's recipe, you might note that it says use day-old rice. Now, the reason for this is if I were to chuck this in a stir fry or something now, like in a fried rice type dish, it's going to get all gluggy, it's going to clump together, it's not going to be awesome. So a little bit of a hack, as they say these days, is if you spread the rice as thin as you can on a tray or on a couple of trays, in my case, put it in the fridge or freezer to cool it. You won't have to wait until the next day to use it. Just don't leave it in the freezer like your beers or it'll explode. Now, the rice won't explode, but your beers will. All right, so here we go with our Thai fried rice, and I've chosen to do it with pork. You can see some minced pork over here. I've sort of half cooked separately to this. So what we're going to do is we're getting our 4 tablespoons of oil, vegetable oil or canola oil. We're getting that up to temperature over a medium to high heat, and that's pretty warm at the moment. We'll let it go for a little bit longer. Then we're going to add our garlic and our onion. We're going to let that stir fry for 30 to 45 seconds. Then we're going to chuck in our white or light part of spring onions. We've got about 4 spring onions there. Then we're going to chuck in our meat, and we're going to let that sit for not very long, for about a minute. Then we're going to separate that to the side, put our scrambled egg in, lightly beaten egg, it's 3 eggs. From there, we're going to chuck in our sauce and our rice. and then we're going to chuck in the green spring onions, and should all be done in under 5 minutes. So here we go, we're going to chuck these in now. It's the oil's up to temperature. You may or may not be able to see there, I've got a little bit of a ridge in my pan, so I have to be careful and make sure that I'm stirring it round, otherwise there's no oil left in the middle there. Alright, so we're only doing this for about 30 to 45 seconds. Again, medium-high heat, just to get this slightly fragrant. Doesn't need to brown, doesn't need to get translucent. Importantly, we don't want it to burn. So just about 30 seconds or so, just to sort of warm this up and get it fragrant, like I said. So here we go with the white part, or the lighter part of spring onions. Chuck those in, and then also your meat. So like I said, I'm choosing to do pork. You can use the little shrimp if you like, or you can do beef, or whatever you like, but really only 200 or 300 grams of that pork. So I've gone a little bit crazy and done about 400 grams, but this should come up very, very well. About 1 to 2 minutes, depending on the temperature for this, just getting this this flavour all cooked through. Okay, so we can hear that sizzling away now. That's good. Again, heat not too high. Next, after about another 30 seconds, we're going to push this all to the side, and then we're going to bring our egg in, and essentially you have scrambled egg on the side, and then combine it a little bit later once we've done the sauce and the rice. So just going to push all this to the side here. There's lovely juices coming out of the pork. And we're going to chuck our egg right in here by itself. Okay. So now we want that to scramble, so we want to keep a firm eye on it. We can see it hardening a little bit, so probably didn't need to move it that early, to be honest, but that's okay. So the other way you could do this would be at a very high heat, and it's go, go, go. But this way you're kind of gently introducing the flavors and just making it all cook nicely. Less margin for error when it's not as hot, and it's just sort of bubbling away and infusing. So it's still pretty quick, like I said from the top, only about 5 minutes. But if you wanted to use a really hot wok, or even a fry pan like I am, you absolutely could do this on a higher heat. So you can see now that I'm getting some hard bits within the egg, which is fantastic. That's what we want. It's not sticking to the bottom of the pan or anything, and it's going very well. So very shortly we will mix all that around, combine that, and add the rice. Okay, so our egg's going pretty good. We're going to mix it all through again, and then add the sauce and the rice. Not too important just yet. And here comes our rice. Again, I've done 4 cups of rice. This will feed a lot of people. This is for, more so I got leftovers tomorrow with, if I'm doing any meal prep or whatever it may be. Rice is a little bit dry, but lucky we're about to cook it. So this sauce is oyster sauce, fish sauce, and a little bit of brown sugar. Now you could use any type of sugar you like, but I tend to find brown sugar is pretty good. All right, so we're just going to mix this through now and stir fry this for about 2 minutes. So a little bit longer than the other steps. And at about the halfway mark, so in about a minute's time, we're going to add the green parts of those spring onions. And that's essentially our dish done. So you can see now that the white rice has, the white jasmine rice has taken on that colouring of the sauce we added. So it's nice and mixed through, which is fantastic. Also, obviously, the pork in there. So now what we're going to do is add some of these spring onions. I'll cut them nice and thick. Again, probably cut a bit too many, but that's okay. That was four very large spring onions I used, and we'll just give these a bit of a toss through and continue stir frying for about another minute, and then serve straight away. Okay, so this is the final product, the finished product. Got a kid-friendly version here, which is just with all the ingredients we used to cook in it, and then a bit of an adult version here with some ground chili sprinkled on top. You can also serve a traditional Thai with wedges of tomato and cucumber and a little bit of coriander through if you wanted to.